talk about Gen Z for a little bit, and millennials and baby boomers, and how we all have different ways of dealing with credit card debt. That's right. It's a big one. Everybody looks at it in kind of a different way. Joining us on 710 KURV, CEO at Decision Financial Services, is Monika Hengesbach. I hope I said that right. She joins us now. So let's talk about Gen Z for a second. Well, actually, no, let's talk about the old way of doing things. The older generations of people that would deal with credit card debt back in the old days and even now. But how do the different generations vary when it comes to credit card debt?
They don't vary much, to be quite honest with you. People just spend way beyond their means. I do think, though, with the older generation, they were taught in school or in trade school how to do a budget, how to do finances, and yet as the years have progressed, that has gone away. And so these kids are going into college, they're finally on their own, and they have no foundation to manage their own finances.
What kind of debts? Well, you kind of just said it yourself, too, that all the generations are kind of dealing with, they use credit cards the same way. Does Gen Z have a different problem than millennials or Gen Xers? Now that they're going to college and they want to go out, they want to have fun, and the economy's not all that great, and so they might use the credit card a little too often to make ends meet.
Yes, they do. I also think, though, too, is that a lot of these Gen Zs are coming out. They're kind of similar to the millennials, right? They suffered a financial calamity. Theirs was COVID. Millennials was a financial crisis. Now the Gen Zs, though, they're coming into high inflation, they're coming into high interest rates, and they have exorbitant student loans. Where some of the older generations, their student loans weren't that high. So they're strapped even further. And so without the education or the foundation to manage their own finances and all of this debt, they don't know how to come out of it. They don't have the tools to do so.
Joining us on 710 KURV, CEO at Decision Financial Services, is Monika Hengesbach. Davis Rankin, your question. Go ahead.
Just to follow up, why is student debt so much higher now than it was whatever year you were referencing?
Honestly, I think that's the magic question. I don't know, truthfully, why student debt is so much higher. I can only assume is that the cost of colleges have increased, the cost of wages for teachers have increased, the type of benefits have increased. More children or graduates from high school are not going to trade schools. They're going into college, whereas in the older generation, they would go to trade school. It wasn't necessary that they had a college degree. I think we're going back to that. And that in the middle population, it was very important to have a college degree. When you interviewed for anyone, you wanted to know what college they went to. Now it doesn't seem to matter that much. But yet the kids are still going to college. They're going for 4 years or longer, and they're strapped with all of this debt.
I've read more than once criticism that there are a lot more administrators per teacher now at schools. In other words, non-teaching personnel than there was, I don't know how many years ago. I don't know depends on when you're comparing. But the overhead's a lot more than it used to be.
Joining us on 710 KURV is Monika Hengesbach, who has more than 30 years of experience in financial services at Decision Financial Services, decisionfinancial.com. So what is your advice for people that they might not feel like they're too deep into debt? They see that they've got a little bit of debt. How much debt is too much debt? I guess I'll start off with that. How much is too much, and how do you know when you're about to hit that limit?
That's a good question. I believe too much debt is the debt that keeps you up at night. I feel that if you do not have enough money in your checking account to pay your living expenses, and by that I mean rent, utilities, fuel, insurances, the basic things that we need, and you have to dip into your credit card to buy your groceries, or you're starting to use your credit cards to go out and eat more, then the debt is too much. Then you have to take a step back, take a look at what you're spending, and determine what you can cut or not cut to tweak that so you're not relying on your credit cards to survive.
Are you somebody that would advocate for avoiding using a credit card or any of these credit services in general, like the PayPal? You know, the one that gets me the most, and I believe that Satan is the one that created this one, Pay in 4, the PayPal Pay in 4. And it's so easy to just cut that up into 4 payments, and then before you know it, it's basically like a credit card payment.
Yes. Yeah, that. And then now everything's on your phone. You've got your Apple Card, which you can do in payments too as well. Everything is so easy to use credit cards now. I think that's also what's different than the older generation, is credit cards are very easy to use. They're all on your phone. So I'm not an advocate to not use credit cards to answer your question. I just don't think we use it for our daily living expenses.
I made a bit of a boo-boo about 8 months ago, I think. I had set up first off, I had opened up a line of credit with a certain online retailer, and I had put it on auto pay, and I accidentally put the payment about 1/3 as it should have been. And I thought, I was going to be cool for the 6 months, no interest. And then suddenly I took a look at my statement. I said, whoa, okay, something happened here. What gives? And it turns out I made a little bit of a boo-boo, and I wasn't giving the proper.
Is that why I loaned you the money? Is that what
That's exactly why. You stopped me from pawning a watch, Davey. That's why.
Oh. You don't get much stuff when you pawn it. You know that. I already tried that one.
But advice for people that really don't know how to manage their money.
What a cash.
My advice for them, I think number one is to get down to basics, take a pen and paper, and really keep track of what they spend their money on. I mean, you see everyone, MyFitnessPal, it's so easy for us to track what we eat and don't eat. Well, I want them to go back and track for just 1 month exactly where they spent the money, because that will determine how much they're spending drinking cups of coffee or eating out. Maybe they don't go to Chick-fil-A that week, but they can at least determine where their money is going. And then they can see how much money they have in reserves to start saving. They need to start saving. So I think it's going back to basics and seeing where their money is actually going.
That's very true. The one thing that's been burning me recently are all the subscription services, and I don't just mean streaming. I mean, there's I sign up for like a VPN, or there's like supplements that come monthly and things like that, and you kind of forget because they all come in and take their ounce of flesh at different dates during the pay period. And so you think you have the money, and then you wake up the next day, and then suddenly like $50 has gone out of your account for this one subscription bill.
Yeah, you should not subscribe to things either. I get myself caught in that as well.
Yeah. So how do you manage all your subscriptions?
Ironically, I keep because I'm an accountant, right? So typical bean counter, I keep it on an Excel spreadsheet. I list my subscriptions. And then on my calendar, I make sure that I go in there and immediately turn it off, because they warn you, okay, sign up for the subscription because you can get a discounted price and you have so many days to cancel it. Well, I put in my calendar that cancellation date. And so then when it pops up, I go right back to my subscription and I cancel it. Now I got the discount and I canceled it.
Yeah, that's the only way. Otherwise, you keep paying even after you die, because your account stays open.
Tell us about the services y'all offer at Decision Financial.
So what we are is a tax strategist firm. So we help clients come in, we look at their taxes, we look at their financial situation, and we find ways that they can save money on their taxes or work on their accounting. For example, helping people set up budgets and be able to afford to utilize putting more money into retirement and savings that will help benefit them save money on their taxes as well.
I got to get you on another time, because why is it so hard to save money? Why it's all these things, all these strategies to put money away, they're very, very simple. Just do it, right? But it's so hard to do. But that'll be a conversation for another day. Thanks a lot for spending some time with us this afternoon. That's Monika Hengesbach, CEO at Decision Financial Services, decisionfinancial.com, joining us on News Talk 710 KURV.